piercing cries shattered the quiet, sterile halls of Mount Sinai Hospital. A blind Omega, fiercely protected by 3 billionaire alpha brothers, writhed in inexplicable agony. When a terrified nurse finally sheared open his luxury silk pillow, hundreds of rusted, suppressant-laced needles spilled out. Someone inside wanted him dead. Darkness was not a new companion for Owen. But the darkness had never felt cold. Not since he was claimed by the Hamilton triplets. Kennedy, Agostino, and Asher Hamilton were a terrifying force in the corporate world, known for their ruthless business acumen. To Owen, they were his entire universe, their distinct sense and deep, rumbling voices the anchors that kept his... Currently, Owen was confined to the sprawling VIP penthouse suite of Mount Sinai Hospital in New York City. The suite was designed to resemble a high-end luxury hotel rather than a medical facility. The bed was outfitted with custom fret linens, imported specifically at Kennedy's strict command because standard hospital cotton. The surgery was meant to relieve the severe, debilitating migraines Owen had suffered since his accident, a final attempt to bring him peace. For the first reorganization, everything seemed perfect. The triplets rarely left his side, their combined alpha pheromones creating a heavy, protective blanket over the room that kept Owen's own scent calm and content. However, as the first week drew to a close, the brothers were forced to attend to a critical merger at Hamilton Global. They couldn't delay it any longer without risking thousands of jobs. They left Owen under the highest level of private security. And that was when the nightmare truly began. It started as a subtle discomfort, a faint, prickling sensation at the base of his skull whenever he laid his head back against his plush, oversized pillow. But as the hours bled into days, the prickling evolved into a sharp, localized stinging, like the bite of a malicious insect.
Nurse Brenda?
But Owen's heightened Omega senses, compensating for his lack of sight, picked up something profoundly unsettling about her.
Yes, Mr. Bailey. Is the pain medication not working?
It's my pillow. It feels sharp, like a splinter or a wire is poking through the fabric. Could you please check it?
I just fluffed that pillow 10 minutes ago. It's filled with the finest European goose down, just as your alphas demanded. There's absolutely nothing sharp in there.
But it hurts. Every time I rest the back of my head, it feels like I'm being stung.
Dr. Caldwell noted that you would experience intense phantom pains, Owen. Your brain is rewiring itself. You're imagining things because of the trauma. I'll increase your IV drip of morphine, but you need to stop complaining about the bedding. Your mates are paying a fortune for it, and it's perfectly fine.
He hated that his blindness made him utterly dependent on strangers who clearly viewed him as a hysterical, broken Omega. The sting was still there. It felt deeper this time, a biting pressure against his scalp. But the drugs dragged. Two days passed, and Owen's condition rapidly deteriorated. He was pale, his usually bright, sightless blue eyes. A constant, low-grade fever racked his slender frame, and his beautiful vanilla scent had curdled into the harsh...
When the Hamilton triplets finally burst through the doors of the VIP suite on a rainy Thursday afternoon, the heavy atmosphere in the room hit them like a physical blow.
Owen,
He stripped off his bespoke Tom Ford suit jacket, his chest heaving as he took in the sight of his sickly mate. Agostino was right behind him, his jaw clenched so tight it looked ready to snap. His eyes, dark and stormy.
Owen. What's wrong? Please, look at me. Baby, what's wrong? You smell like pure pain.
But the moment he moved his head, a blinding, white-hot agony shot through his skull. He let out a choked sob, collapsing back onto the pillow.
Don't move him! Don't move him!
Agostino barked, stepping forward, his dominant aura flaring and causing the monitors to beep erratically in response to Owen's spiking heart rate.
It's just the phantom pains.
Owen lied through chattering teeth, his hands balling into fists in the fret sheets. He was terrified of sounding crazy.
Dr. Caldwell said my nerves are just misfiring. I'm okay. My head hurts so much.
Kennedy leaned down, gently brushing damp curls away from Owen's forehead. His sharp eyes narrowed as he noticed tiny...
Owen, you're bleeding. Why are there puncture marks on your scalp?
Tonight. Before Owen could answer, the door swung open, and Dr. Caldwell walked in, accompanied by Brenda. The doctor looked grim.
Mr. Hamilton, all three of you, please step outside with me for a moment. His blood work just came back, and there are severe anomalies. I need to discuss a potential infection in his cerebral fluid.
We aren't leaving him. It will only take 2 minutes. We need to hear what the doctor has to say. We'll be right outside the glass. I'll be fine. Go. Please. Find out what's wrong with me.
Reluctantly, the three alphas pressed brief, lingering kisses to Owen's forehead and hands, their massive frames withdrawing from the room. Pinglies. The door clicked shut, leaving Owen alone in the vast, quiet suite. The pain medication was wearing off again. It felt as though someone had poured battery acid beneath his skin. Desperate for relief, Owen tried to shift his rate. He lifted his head slightly and rolled to the right, letting his head drop back down onto the center of the plush silk pillow with a little... It wasn't a phantom pain. A dozen sharp, jagged points of rusted metal violently pierced through the delicate... The foreign substance coating the metal, a highly concentrated, illegal alpha suppressant designed to induce agonizing, paralyzing... Owen's back arched off the mattress, his body locking into a rigid bow of pure, unadulterated torment. His
Owen.
Outside the room, the three alphas froze mid-conversation with Dr. Caldwell. The sheer terror in their mate's scream triggered a violent, primal instinct.
Agostino practically ripped the heavy oak door off its hinges as they surged back into the room. But someone else had beaten them to it.
He's seizing! Hold him steady!
Kennedy and Agostino lunged, their massive hands pinning Owen's shoulders and hips to prevent him from thrashing off the bed, while...
What is happening to him?
Nurse Sarah didn't answer. Her eyes were fixed on the bloody pillow beneath Owen's head. As Kennedy lifted Owen slightly, the fabric was stained with a bizarre, dark greenish residue that smelled pungently of rotting wolfsbane and rust.
Wait, stop! Don't put his head down!
She reached into her scrubs and yanked out a pair of heavy-duty trauma shears. With a violent, desperate motion, she plunged Spilling out from the pristine white goose down were hundreds of long, thick sewing needles. They were rusty. Owen hadn't been hallucinating. He had been systematically tortured, and his tormentor had made sure the blind Omega couldn't see the weapon that was slowly killing him.
Save him, Harrison!
We're losing them! Charge the defibrillator to 200 joules. Clear. Get this to the private toxicology lab on the 4th floor. I want a chemical breakdown in 10 minutes. I don't care who you have to threaten.
Jonathan Cole returned, his face grim, handing Agostino a freshly printed lab report. Dr. Caldwell stepped away from the bedside to read it over the Alpha's broad shoulder.
Good God. This isn't just a random poison. It's a highly weaponized neurotoxin.
The primary active compound is a synthesized derivative of aconitine, specifically engineered to target the unique neurological pathways of an omega. It has been dangerously laced with heavy metals to delay degradation and maximize suffering. The reaction shows a binding with lead acetate.
The rusted needles were meant to cause localized tetanus and masking infections. Whoever did this wanted Owen to suffer excruciating.
Security. Locate nurse BRNDA Carmichael, now.
Sir.
She swiped out of the staff locker room 3 minutes before the lockdown was initiated. Her car is no longer in the parking garage.
She couldn't have planned this alone. Brenda is a bitter mid-level beta nurse. She doesn't have the resources to synthesize a bespoke omega neurotoxin.
Bait. Asher pulled out his encrypted tablet, his fingers flying across the screen as he hacked directly into the hospital's payroll and employee background data.
I'm pulling her offshore accounts. A woman like that doesn't attempt to assassinate the mate of 3 billionaires for free.
How could you do this? You know exactly why, Kennedy.
Asher's fingers paused. The blood drained from his face as the screen revealed the source of the funds. It wasn't a corporate rival. It wasn't a competitor trying to destabilize Hamilton Global.
It's a shell company. A subsidiary of the H. Arrington estate.
The Harrington estate belonged to Victoria Harrington, their late father's estranged, vindictive widow. Their stepmother.
Under the archaic bylaws of the Hamilton Trust, the triplets could only inherit the controlling majority of the global empire if they successfully mated and produced an heir. Victoria knew that if Owen died, especially under circumstances that made the Alphas look negligent, the ensuing scandal and grief.
She had weaponized Owen's blindness, his vulnerability, and his trust, turning his place of healing into a torture chamber. It was a cold, calculated, and absolute dismantling of a human life. They did not call the police.